Opinions and stories around the game we love, told by your favorite storytellers. Stay up to date with all things cricket. Subscribe to Cricbuzz's YouTube channel and press that bell icon now.
Everything now will be looking ahead to the Monday night clash. It's going to be a big one because this is one of those clashes that is going to ensure that only one of the two teams can make it to 16 points. Before today's result, it might have been different, but match number 64 from the DY Patil Stadium is going to be, well, almost a do or die encounter, Lisa.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Both teams have really got one last chance, one roll of the dice to get everything right. And it's funny because it's the two teams that have literally gone win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. And I think Delhi are expected to lose based on that. And maybe I think Punjab are expected to win. So there you go. There's the preview. We're done.
Shaun would love that.
Result confirmed. Yeah, Monday madness. It's going to be all on the block on Monday, and it's that time of the tournament. You know, eventually you face it, whether it be in the knockouts or just before the knockouts. It gets down to a point where you have to win a vital game in order to continue your life in the tournament, and that's what it's got down to for these two teams. So it's an important game, and we'll see who can handle the pressure the best.
Yep, as we said, to sum it up, only one of these two, Delhi and Punjab, can get to 16. The winner gets to 14 with an option of 16. The loser stays on 12 with a maximum of 14. That, at this stage, doesn't look as if it can take them through. So it could even be a knockout fixture effectively. Let's look at Delhi first, because both teams have not really managed to put a string of victories together. Delhi will want to start, not a bad place to start in a knockout game. In terms of the 11, there was a little bit of bad news for them a couple of matches ago. Prithvi Shaw taken ill. How crucial will he be, Shaun, to his absence be to them?
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, but it's gone at the top of the order and hasn't been able to perform in two of the games, which is meaning they're continually getting off to a bad start. Whereas we've seen on countless occasions throughout the IPL, particularly through Prithvi Shaw's career, or fantastic fast starts. So that's not ideal. It's almost like you're going to, or they've got the feeling that they're going to be one down after 2 or 3 overs, and then the pressure gets onto the other guys. But on the other positive side, Mitchell Marsh seems to have found his feet, and I think that's an important investment for them going forward. He's a good player, and he comes in at an important time. So now that he's got his confidence up, they'll be hoping for continued good performances.
And Mitch Marsh is doing two things. He's, of course, making up for the lack of the start from Prithvi Shaw and contributing with the ball, Lisa.
Yeah, and when Mitch Marsh is bowling well, that's good signs for him. You know, I think he's the type of player that loves to contribute in both facets, and obviously Delhi feel that that's a role that he can actually be able to play an important part in their performance. So fingers crossed for him that he continues his kind of form. But yeah, I mean, you look at Delhi and they could make it maybe one change. I mean, Chetan Sakaria has bowled well, but, you know, could they bring in Nagakoti, Khalil Ahmed? You know, there's some opportunities there depending on the pitch. I mean, Sakaria did well. I think he picked up maybe 2 wickets the last game. So, you know, they may not make a change from a bowling perspective, but, you know, Axar Patel back in, Lalit Yadav back in, just strengthens it. And hopefully, if Delhi can get through to the finals, we may see Prithvi Shaw, because he has been discharged from the hospital.
Yeah, I think Khalil Ahmed, the only issue was the hamstring. If it's fixed, he walks straight back in. That's the only consideration for Delhi. But Sakaria has been a good enough replacement, and obviously no possible look-in for Lungisani and Giri at this stage. So he'll have to wait. He'll have to be part of that 11 that we've been creating of overseas players who haven't played a game yet. It was a very, very well-balanced 11. Maybe we'll put it out there and share it for you. The only change from that team is that Patirana is now out of that team because he played earlier. Well, we've got a second team to look at, Punjab. Shaun, no real personnel possibilities for Delhi, but what about Punjab? They've just made a couple of little tinkerings towards the latter half, but what they've got sorted, Johnny Bairstow at the top.
Yeah, Johnny's firing. Livingston's found some good form. I can't see them making any changes personally. When you look around at this stage, it's so difficult to go into the reserves because what form have they got to talk of? So I think in many ways your team's got you into this situation. Trust the same unit to try and get you out of it and try and get you over the line into qualification. It doesn't seem to make sense looking at those lists for them to make a change now.
The one call they had to take, of course, to get Johnny Bairstow up there was to separate a tried and tested combo of Shikhar Dhawan, Mayank Agarwal. But because the captain wasn't delivering, also had to sit out one game with injury, I think Mayank as captain is happy to take the call and say, look, I'll just pad up and wait whenever it's my turn.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the first time when he started to slide down the order, he didn't come into bat. Then I think he came in at 3 or 4, and then a little bit later, I think 5 as well. So he's happy to go in based on the situation. And maybe that's what you need. You need a guy who understands that he's not firing. Johnny Bairstow, we spoke about it, that his numbers in IPL opening the batting are outstanding. And the first game he did it didn't work necessarily, but he's too much of a class player, and we saw that at Brabham Stadium against Bangalore. He went big. He was the deciding factor, and Liam Livingstone joined in the party. So you feel that they're a more settled lineup with Johnny Bairstow at the top.